Wendy's, don't test me, I'll put you in the death squeeze, just like an orange in the summer, the fresh squeeze.
Maria pointed at our office to the assumed driver. Then the three of them went into hers. Andrew, being the last one, closed the door behind him. I grabbed a few paper files of the most recent, high-profile cases that Andrew and Maria shut down, along with a memory stick used to download all of our files. The amount of incriminating evidence that we can obtain from the files should put them away for a long time. Creeping through the aisles, I make my way to the rear stairwell right before one of the tow truck drivers walked onto the floor. He's standing in the entrance, which is about 5,000 square feet away, looking at his phone. My first instinct is to jump out of the window, but since we're on the 12th floor, that wouldn't turn out well for me, but perfect for them. Instead, I'll make a run for it since he hasn't seen me. As soon as he looked up, I reached out to push open the exit door. Then our eyes connected. He started running in my direction and I took off down the stairs. Bullets flying past my head. I started to return fire to keep them a few floors above me, so when I exit, my point of direction would be unknown to that driver. Plus, an alarm will sound, locking down the entire building until the police and fire department deem the structure safe. By the time I exit the stairwell, the alarm sounded. I may have about 3 minutes to get across the rear lawn and through a small forest of trees before they figure out where the emergency switch is to unlock the doors. I'm about 1,000 feet from the highway. My plan is to make my way across the field and into the trees without being seen. As long as I don't get shot, I'll reach my SUV within seconds. I left my vehicle on the side of the highway so it'll be easier for me to get away. I made a mad dash to the tree line, busting my way through the branches to get to the highway. I jump out about 20 feet north from where my SUV was parked. Panicking, nervous, and overwhelmed, I kept pushing the button on my key fob to unlock the door, diving almost headfirst while utilizing the push to start. I entered the highway moments later, joining the rest of the commuters, but that didn't stop them from coming. 3 tow trucks racing down the highway, shooting at me wildly, but not landing anything. I return fire, blowing out one truck's front tire. It flips several times before taking out one of the other tow trucks and 3 cars. The only truck left is the one that's been following me since I left the airport, but I'm also out of ammo. I needed to do something I've been trained not to do: call for help. As much as I believe that Steve and I can handle this, it's way too many people, and we don't know how far their reach is. That alone makes it hard for us to stay safe. It doesn't help that MIA has most of the tow truck companies under contract, and we don't know who's part of this group of ingrates. with one truck still following, I force him to follow me into Warwick, Maryland, where most of the land is just that, land, farmland for miles and miles. Houses are far and few in between once you get out of the small town. As soon as Rhonda lets me know I've been cleared, this chase is going to turn into me hunting them. Now that I'm reinstated, the table has turned. I continue to travel west on Route 282 for about another 6,000 feet. There's a hard left turn up ahead. I slowed down a tad so he wouldn't flip his truck when he has to make that turn. I took that hard left onto a small hidden driveway covered by trees, but he kept going straight. I punched the gas harder so I'll have a little time to find a great place to wait. 5 minutes on this road and I'm nowhere near the end, but reached the halfway point. To the west of me is a farmhouse that the government owns, which is a safe house Steve and I used once before. South of my current location is the Sassafras River. Unfortunately, this same river travels through residents' backyard. I stopped the car right there in the middle of the driveway. Looking around, I found a nice huge log to hide behind. All I have to defend myself is my training, but this tactical knife will definitely come in handy. I thought twice about that log. It's not completely safe to hide on the ground when you're alone. The best place to perch would be in a tree. Not too far from the fallen log, there's a huge tree that would be perfect. I can see in every direction and could sleep there if needed. Proceeding to climb to the heavier branches, I can see dust kicking up from the driver's truck. Moments later he pulls up behind my SUV, but keeps his truck running. Looks over my vehicle then makes a call. I lost her in the woods. I don't know where I am exactly, but I'm off of Route 282 by 3¼ miles. No sooner than he stopped talking, I climbed down the tree as quick and quiet as I could. Sneaking up behind him, I stepped on a fallen branch that crackled under my feet. He turned around, dropping his phone in the process. This man towered over me by at least a foot. Holding my tactical knife firmly, I swing from right to left, slitting his throat wide open. Blood spraying all over the place, including on me. It's a guarantee he'll be dead within seconds. He dropped to his knees, clenching his bleeding throat, while I stand to the side of him, reaching for his phone. I'll listen to the person on the other end for a few seconds, then disconnected the call. Maneuvering my SUV through the trees to get to open field, I noticed that our old safe house now has a helicopter landing pad. Bizarre to say the least. I keep pushing to get back to the roadway to discard my phone as instructed. I didn't want to throw my phone or the driver's phone out near his body or the safe house. I wanted to get as far away from here before making a call, then getting rid of them. When they, whoever they are, goes to look for the last location for either phone, it'll ping the location of the last time it was used. I can hear the notification bell that I've gotten a few text messages, but I never reconnected my phone to my vehicle. Pulling up to the entrance to Fox Pond Park, I make a call on the driver's phone and sit in silence, listening to a man with a deep baritone voice asking if I and Steve were dead. Hanging up after a few minutes, I placed his cell phone under my front tire, put my vehicle in drive, and gracefully rolled over it with a smile. Just to be safe, I checked his phone before throwing it in the wooded area of the park. Then, I turned my focus on my phone. Taking out the time to have one last free moment to myself, I walked the path closest to the water. Without stopping, I threw my phone as far into the Delaware River as my arm will allow. Continuing on the path, I visualized my life and future going back to work with the government. I left the agency when Michael was born 7 years ago and didn't plan on returning to active duty, but if Rhonda and Eric can raise their child and still keep her safe, maybe I should talk to them about my concerns. I'm nervous for sure, but I can't lie. The excitement has my insides dancing the cha-cha slide. Back onto the highway, I pushed my SUV to the limit to get to my destination. I pulled up to the side entrance to the warehouse where Eric and Steve were waiting. They lifted the gate so I can park my vehicle inside the building and out of sight. This is a place we frequented ever since we left the agency. Steve was my partner in the field, but just recently started working in the same department when concerns started to rise. See, before there was a Billy and Steve combo, there was a Billy and Jane duo. Where's Jane? Damn if I know. She came to work on a Friday like normal, about 3 years ago. You got it right, 3 years ago. We all went to an after-hour party. She caught a ride home with a contractor. I don't remember seeing the person's face that was driving that tow truck, but that was the last time any of us heard from her. Her family filed a missing persons report, but it seems that this isn't the first time she's disappeared, so the police denied the request. I settled myself in my portion of the warehouse, so I could gather my thoughts after running for my life. The last thing I want to do is make accusations and be wrong. I don't want to tarnish anyone's reputation or character, because I jumped the gun and started thinking with my emotions and not logic. That outcome would be damaging to everyone, because everyone has skeletons. This warehouse was owned by my father. Well, not my real father or the father that raised me. This man was a mentor and has saved my life on several occasions. His way of thinking is positive, humbling, everything this world needs right now. We aren't related, so they wouldn't or even couldn't link me to this place. Over the years, my father upgraded the inside so it resembles 4 fully functioning apartments, and the common area consists of our hub, much like a control center, but we have all of the most up-to-date equipment, software, and programs. We even have the ability to search a database that covers everyone in the world. So, it doesn't matter if you leave the country, we'll find you wherever you go. The number 1 rule is to never insinuate that you frequent this location. It's obvious they spooked the hell out of Steve. Maybe he's been out of the field too long, but we both have. Outside of our regular 9 to 5, we're on the books with the government, not fully active up until a few hours ago. We did do little things to help out active agents that can't get the help they need right away. It's a lonely position and lonely life because even the people closest to us can't know what you do or who we really are, and that's for their protection. This problem will expose us if we don't put a stop to it now. See, we've been working with MIA International for some time now. This is the 4th office site we're playing clean up with. The first 3 offices, we found embezzlement by the millions but no murders. Not like this site. We've calculated in the upper $1 billion range if we add in the company credit cards these jokers are using to furnish their less than lavish lifestyles. Along with pocketing the money and turning a blind eye to the contractors also having their way with this organization. Before exiting my section apartment to join Steve, Rhonda, and Eric at the hub, I gave a call to the associate that Steve and I deal with in headquarters. Come to find out, there was a merge a month ago that switched up all of the CEOs, presidents, and directors. Now, this makes a little more sense. I went out to the hub to share my findings with the group. One slight change can offset any plan Rhonda and Eric may have come up with already. Both of them sat with us but didn't utter a word. Steve, did you know about the merge? No. With who? I don't know for sure, but I called our contact in Wilmington, and she gave me a few familiar names to run. Every single one is from the Kentucky area. Isn't that a case we worked on a few months ago? Yup, and the merge happened a month ago to this day.